Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Holly's Sweets and Eats. This is Sunday, my favorite day of the week because I get to cook for my family. This morning, we're gonna make cinnamon swirl French toast right here in my kitchen. The first step is to wash your hands, the most important, especially in these pandemic times. They say that if you sing happy birthday to yourself twice, that should be long enough. Cue the music.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Lori, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Lori, happy birthday to you.
Okay, so to get started, let's talk about what we'll need. Eggs, cream, and the very best vanilla. Sometimes people add sugar to the custard mixture, but we don't need to because we're using Holly's Sweets and Eats cinnamon swirl, and there's already a lot of sugar involved. You need to have a bowl big enough to fit the slices of bread in so that they can soak evenly from side to side. If it's just for you, this might work, but we're cooking for a crowd, so we're gonna use this bowl. So some people like just plain maple syrup on their French toast. We make our own maple syrup every year, but sometimes we like to jazz it up a little, and because we're having to stay home, we need all the distractions we can. So we're going to make a berry maple syrup topping. You have to use whatever you have. The kids have been drinking smoothies like crazy, so all we're left are some sort of sad freezer burnt strawberries. But by the time we're finished, they're gonna be fantastic. So add your strawberries to a small saucepan. Add an equal amount of maple syrup. And turn it on low to simmer and cook. Good. Okay, now for the custard. We crack some eggs. Please let your kids crack eggs. The number of 10-year-olds that I've taught how to cook that don't know how to crack an egg by the age of 10, it's kind of sad. What's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna make a mess? Don't worry about it. Let them crack the eggs. So we're gonna start with 4 eggs. Just beat them up. It's easier to beat them up before you add the milk. Otherwise, you'll be chasing them around in the liquid. So this is not rocket science. Proportions can be guesstimated. I use half egg, half cream. So whatever the volume of egg was, I match it with cream. A little splash of the best vanilla. Don't use artificial. You might as well leave it out. Whip it all up till it's well mixed. Another great job for the kids. And we're ready to move on to the bread. Just a little add-on. By the request of my adoring husband, he prefers it when we make it with orange zest. So if you have a microplaner, use that. If you don't, use the smallest little holes on the box grater. Just a little bit of orange zest will do it. You don't use too much. You're not making orange toast. But something to stand up with the cinnamon. It'll go nicely with the strawberries and maple syrup. Mix that in, and you'll be amazed at what a nice little touch it adds. This is the most important part, the bread. We like it most with Holly's Sweets and Eats cinnamon swirl. But challah, sourdough, any of the white breads also work. Try not to use sliced Wonder Bread. That stuff is not for anything good. I also don't like it with whole wheat, but to each his own. We like to slice it 2 fingers wide. Now these are my fingers, it's up to you. But at the store, if you've come for breakfast on Saturdays, before now, we would cut it nice and thick like this. Sometimes you have to adjust the slices based on how many people are coming for breakfast and how many loaves of cinnamon swirl you bought. Okay, we have to get our pan ready. Any kind of frying pan will work, it doesn't really matter. A good cook doesn't blame their equipment. So I like to use a combination of butter and olive oil. The butter makes it taste great, but if you get it too hot, it'll taste burnt. So I use a little avocado oil because it really doesn't have a flavor, but it makes sure that the butter doesn't burn. So while that's heating up, because you want to make sure your pan's hot before you put your bread in, we put our bread in the custard. This isn't custard like pudding, it's a combination of eggs and cream. So it's known as a custard. How long you soak it is a matter of personal preference. One of my kids can't stand it soggy in the middle. Another one of my kids likes it to be gooey and wet. So you gotta suck it up and do what moms do and make something special for everybody. So this one will be for Isaac because he doesn't like it too wet. This one will be for Abby because she likes it gushy. Put it into the pan. It should sizzle right away because if it doesn't, that means it's going to stick later. Put it in there and leave it alone. When you're frying something, try not to touch it too much. If you try to move this before it's formed a nice crust on the bottom, it's going to stick. Just leave it alone. Once you see the edges are starting to get a little bit brown, or when your intuition tells you, I think it's time, then touch it. But before that, just leave it alone. Let's check in on our berry sauce. The strawberries, some of them are really big, so they're still frozen. Sort of mush them down a little bit to break them up. The more they cook, the better they'll squish.
Yeah.
It's time to flip our French toast. See how it's nice and golden brown? Okay, the French toast is done. The strawberries are boiling away, so I think we're ready to go. Okay, here we go. One for Abby, one for Isaac. Abby likes butter and syrup. Isaac likes our strawberry syrup and a not gushy French toast. This is a little tea ball. Okay. This is a little tea ball with some icing sugar in it because nothing makes self-quarantine better than lots of sugar. How is it, Isaac? Abby refuses to be shown on film this early in the morning, so Isaac's taking one for the team.
It's really good.
Thanks. So from my home to yours, thanks for joining us at Holly's Sweets and Eats. We hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I made sense. If you have any questions, you can call the store when we're open, and I hope you cook with your family. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.